Family, happy, what is this, Thursday? We are in September. Man, I'm excited about this new series that we got coming up, right? So I posted this morning talking about how September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So I'm really excited to be bringing what I want to call the life worth living. I was going back and forth between life worth living and more to life, but I think I'm gonna stick with life worth living just because of the branding that I did with last year's conversation for Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Sorry, I'm trying to type this in so I can go ahead and get started with this conversation because I want this to be very quick, very simple, and very easy. So thank you all so much for coming in. So the month of September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And with that being the case, good morning to everyone that's coming in. I'm gonna throw these waves out as I can and as I come through. So with it being Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, I wanted to come in and really just have some general conversations that I believe can help people in two ways, right? The first is being able to help folks who struggle when it comes to dealing with suicidal ideations, thoughts, maybe some of the actions, or maybe just full blown like, hey, I don't want to live anymore, right? I think all of those are very important, right? And so I'm going to be doing a few things, right? So in my book that I released back in February, The 31 Days of Power, A Simplified Approach to Everyday Mental Health, I had 5 chapters in here that covered different realms of suicide and specifically suicide prevention. So I'm going to be diving into those. But with this Life Worth Living series, what I want to be able to do is have conversations where we take a word of the day. And from that word of the day, what we do is really relate it back to the conversation around suicide prevention. So we're starting from the top today. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, by the way. So today, the word is awareness. We're going to jump into that in a minute, but I believe that this is going to be super important for those who struggle. But then also for those of us who, while we might not struggle, we're either connected to somebody who does. Maybe we know somebody who does and don't know that they struggle. Or just simply put, you never know where you're going to be called or positioned in a certain period of time to where maybe some knowledge that you have attained can actually help someone along the way that might be struggling and you had no clue that they were, right? And so what's the idea behind this? At the end of the day, I want people to know that they've got a purpose that is greater than suicide, right? We all do. And so with that being the case, right, an early grave does not have to be our timestamp, our life's calling. It can literally be more than that. So awareness, man, real quick and simple, right? I know it probably seems like, oh, well, that's an easy one to do is awareness. It's actually not. And this is why I wanted to challenge the way that we've approached awareness within our own lives, right? Like we're going to talk about awareness from the standpoint of signs later on. You know, when we talk about people who might be checked out, maybe they have been very vocal about, you know, this thought or this idea of life without them. Maybe they've, you know, given up possessions. Maybe they've sold off everything that they have. Maybe their patterns and lifestyles are changing. We'll get to that, right? Yes, those are signs that we want to be aware of. But I think more than that, we've got to do a better job of being simply aware of people, right? Being aware of the individuals around us, being aware of those that we get a chance to come into contact with. Because when we talk about suicide prevention, I personally believe that's where it's going to start. It's going to start with our awareness to individuals, being able to lean into people, right? Being able to walk alongside people in a very distracted world, right? So as much as we think that it's easy to be aware, if I can be honest, it's not. We miss so many signs because we miss the opportunity to be in deeper, greater, more intentional community with people. So my encouragement for you all as we get this month started around suicide prevention, I want you all to understand the ability that you have when it comes to you simply being present and being aware of people, being able to have conversations with people, being able to not just say, hey, how you doing? And have the response of, oh, okay, good. That's great. Ready to go. Because what happens in a moment in time, if you are talking to someone and you ask how they're doing and you think that they're just going to give you the regular rigmarole of like, oh yeah, I'm good. But they actually say, no, I'm not good. Right. But in our mind, because we're so used to this constant cycle of just mundanely doing things, we missed an opportunity to actually hear someone when it comes to what they're struggling with, when it comes to what they're going through. So awareness, yes, presence and awareness, my big sis, Key, thank you so much. That is the absolute truth, right? Presence and awareness, right? And here's my thought process. I put this out with every group that I work with. I am a firm believer that your presence is a present. Your presence is a gift. So with that being the case, you don't know what your awareness and simply being present with somebody in that moment can do, right? It doesn't mean that you got to have all the answers. It doesn't mean that you got to know everything. It just simply means that you got to be available in your awareness. It simply means that you got to be available in those moments in time. That's my encouragement for y'all today. I'm not going to beat the horse over the head, but like I said, I do believe that it's important for us to understand this as we go through this month. This is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. I think the second week is going to be Suicide Prevention Awareness Week, where it takes on like the whole world. There'll be conversations going on. You'll see a lot of stuff led by Mental Health of America, NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. Shout out to NAMI. I'm actually going to be working with them as a featured keynote speaker for our NAMI group in Washington State. I want to say in October, around World Mental Health Day. So I'm excited for that. But you're going to see a lot of different things. And I would encourage you all to pay attention to people, but also to gain a new perspective and understanding when it comes to people who might be struggling. Just because you don't get it doesn't make what they're going through any less valid, if that makes sense. So with that being the case, that's my message for y'all today. Hope y'all have a great day. If you haven't already, slide by, drop in richardtaylorjr.com. You can get your copy of the 31 Days of Power, a simplified approach for everyday mental health. When we talk about this suicide prevention work, the reality is that it's not rocket science. And I want to make sure that we're very, very knowledgeable of that. It's not going to take some big aha moment. It actually takes practice and consistency within these very small realms. It takes us being consistent in awareness, consistent in knowing signs, and consistent with people. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Peace.